Hey everyone, it's Shap. Welcome to another amazing video about getting to great. So this one is called Getting to Great number 1, and it's called Investing Part 1. So before I get started, there are really 3 things in my life that I've done a lot of that I consider myself to be passionate about. Number 1 is wellness, which you see me posting a lot of stuff about that. Number 2 is education. And number 3 is the concept of investing. And I think all of them are amazing, but I'm going to be doing a series. It'll probably be pretty long on investing tips. So before I get started, let me just throw this out. All of the stuff that I'm saying, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just somebody who's been investing for a pretty long time, over 30 years. But everything I'm saying is not a recommendation to buy or sell. So please don't take it as that. It's just an opinion. And hopefully the things I'm saying will help you. So with that said, I got started investing about 35 years ago. And there are some things that over that time that I have really learned a lot, sometimes just through making mistakes, other times through talking to others. But I'm going to do a video series, like I said, on investing. And my goal each time is to break things down in a pretty simple way so you can understand them, utilize them, and ask questions. So before I get started, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate that. That would really be beneficial. It's how we grow the channel. Secondly, share it out, like it, do whatever you can to get involved. I'd really appreciate that. So with that said, here we go. This is tip number 1, and it's very simple. Get started. Okay, then I do a lot of stuff with young people. Actually, I'm a teacher, so I talk to a lot of students. And one of the things I always say to them is get started young. Now, I know some of you who are watching this are probably, probably not young, you might be older, but it's never too late to get started. Sometimes I'll hear from people, well, I don't understand, I don't have the money. And of course, those things are very legitimate, and everybody's financial situation is different. So it's not for me to say to you whether you have the money to invest or not, because I don't know your situation, but I can say that getting started is critical. When I first started investing, there were not nearly as many ways to invest as there are now. Now there are so many different companies to do investing. You can do it all over your phone. And I'm going to give you just a few different ones. And this is not all inclusive. It's just a group of different companies that do investing. And obviously, number 1, many of you probably heard of Robinhood. You can get the app on your phone. I use Robinhood. I use other accounts too, but I also use Robinhood. It's incredibly easy to use, very intuitive. So Robinhood is one. Charles Schwab is another. JP Morgan, TD, Ameritrade, and obviously there's others as well. I only gave you 4, but there's lots of different ways to invest. And all of these companies are very seamless. You can do it through your phone. So that is my first thing, is obviously just get started doing it. Tip number 2, which again, I'm going to give you 5 tips, and it's hard to say for me which one is most important. But if I had to pick, this would be it. Tip number 2 is consistency is key. And what I mean by that is if you start investing, no matter what age you are, but especially if you're young, and you keep investing, however often as you can. It's not for me to say what somebody can do, but I'm just using an example. Let's say, you're going to take, $10 a month and you're going to invest that, which you can do. That's feasible on most of these apps. You can do that. I know on Robinhood, you definitely can. So you take $10 a month and you just keep putting $10 a month into a variety of investments. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but that builds consistency. It gets you going. And at some point, I promise you this, at some point, if you are consistent with it, you won't even realize that you're investing the money. It will just happen seamlessly. Trust me on that. You might not believe me, but it is true. It will work. If you just get consistent, set up an automatic withdrawal every month, $10 goes into whatever your account is. And you can set up something called a recurring investment. You can set up, let's just say you wanted to buy Apple stock. On Robinhood, you can invest $10 every month in Apple stock. So number 2, again, and this is, again, so critical, is consistency is key. It is so important to be consistent with your investments. That's how you build wealth. And a lot of times you don't even realize it. Number three, another really, really important tip, and that is called diversify. So, as somebody who's been investing for years, I would never put all of my money into one thing. I would never do that because what if the one thing doesn't do very well? So diversify means mix up what you're investing in. And again, there's so many options. Like just to give you an example, there's mutual funds and ETFs. An ETF is an exchange traded fund. Don't worry about what that means right now. I'll go into that in another episode. But you can buy baskets of companies. So I'm going to give you a couple names. One is called VOO. That stands for VOO, and that basically just tracks the S&P 500. Another one is called the triple Qs. That is the NASDAQ. And then there's another symbol called VYM and another one called SCHG. Now, let me make sure you understand this, is that these are all baskets of companies. They're not individual stocks. So when you buy them, you're diversifying. You're owning a lot of companies, which is a great way to get started. It's a really, really good way to start because let's just say you bought $10 of VOO. And again, VOO is tracking something called the S&P 500, so 500 really large companies. When you do that, if one company is going down, it's not affecting your money that much because there's 500 of them. So you have a very diversified, we call it a diversified portfolio. And that is what I think is incredible. So you want to really diversify your money so you're not all your eggs are in one basket. Okay. Number four. So let's say you have some of those mutual funds or ETFs and you feel like you're getting the hang of things and you want to get involved in stocks. So this tip number four is another one that is incredibly important. It's something that I tend to really live by when it comes to investing. And that is buy companies that you know and use. I'm going to say it again. Buy companies that you know and use. So right now, as I'm talking, just think about companies that you know and you use frequently. Okay, I'll give you a second. Just think about it. And what comes to your mind? So I'm going to give you 5 companies. You're going to know all of them. You might not use all of them all the time, but you definitely know them. So the first one is just simply Apple. Okay. Just about everybody, unless you're living under a rock, you know the company Apple. You know what they have. It's their phones, their MacBooks, their watches, their iPads. So it's a very diverse company. Okay. Most people know it. A lot of people use it. Number 2 is Amazon. Think about when you order a product online. Many times it will just come through Amazon. You know it, you use it. Number 3, and one of my most favorite companies, if you ever go there on Sunday, if you happen to be a member, you know what I'm talking about, and that's Costco. So you might not be a member, but you know about the company. So number 4 and 5 are a little bit different. You've most likely heard of them, even though you might not always use them. So number 4 is ExxonMobil. And again, it's an oil and gas company. They're world famous. Most people know them, and you might be using them without even knowing it. And the 5th company is a company that is called Texas Roadhouse. So you might not have been to their restaurants, but they're all over and they're known for their steaks. So I know them. You might not, but I'm very familiar with them. So I gave you 5 different companies to think about. I'm not suggesting to invest in them. I'm just giving you an idea that you want to buy companies that you know and use. Okay. And I'm sure you have your own companies. And I will follow up with future videos that kind of go into more detail about why I am picking these companies, why I think they're important. And again, I'll answer any of the questions you have. So my last tip number 5, another really critical one, something that I will say that I didn't do when I was young, but I definitely do it now. And it's something you'll hear from many, many people, many financial advisors. Number 5 is avoid getting emotional. So reality of it is this. It's very simple. You can make and lose money in the stock market. It's that simple. If the stock market's not always going to go straight up in the air, sometimes it's going to go down. Sometimes it's going to go up. It's going to have fluctuations of up and down. And that's just the reality of it. It's always been like that and it always will be. You never want to be emotional about investing. And that means just buying or selling, what I say, on a whim. You see something and you go, oh my God, this looks great, I'm going to buy it. You don't want to buy emotionally, and you don't want to sell emotionally. Okay, you want to kind of, remember I said, tip number 2 was be consistent. You want to be consistent with your investments, so you're not getting real emotional about investing. And when you do that, you have a much greater chance of making money and being safe, and that is critical. Okay, so again, just a reminder: tip number 1, get started. Tip number 2, be consistent with your investments. Number 3, diversify. Mix up the ETFs and mutual funds. Number 4, buy companies that you know. And number 5, avoid getting emotional. So that is the end of Getting to Great number 1, Investing Part 1. I hope it was beneficial and useful to you. None of the stuff that I said, again, it's not a recommendation to buy or sell a stock. It's just something that I'm passionate about, something that I've had a lot of success on, and something that I really believe, if you get involved in it, can be very much life-changing if you follow some of the principles that I said. As a reminder, please consider subscribing to my channel. I'd really appreciate that. If you like the content, share it out. If you have a question, something you disagree with, or something you agree with, or you want to share your own perspective, I'd love to see it. Okay? Everybody, thank you again for all you do. Thank you for subscribing and sharing and liking. I appreciate you. As always, you are awesome.